Watch your tail, bub. And we join our program already in progress. Got a, watch where you putting that, bub. Got a new flask in, pretty big size. Should have done that in wood, but a little bit lazy, I reckon. So we just went ahead and bought one. I'm sure it will prove its worth. We got this John F. Kennedy $50 replica. I think it's in aluminum. It's very thin in the middle. Kind of worries me a little bit. I want to position it so that the sprue comes in on a spot that doesn't have writing. I don't know how well this is due. We're just going to use bismuth for this first one. Bring this back towards me a bit so I can get some pressure on it. Just because bismuth is very forgiving and it's not hot enough to actually damage the sand or anything, we can reuse everything. I went to get got a hole here. See it? Went to get a new one of these and they didn't have any at the local Dollar Tree. I was very disappointed. We're just using regular backer sand here. It has def clay in it. It's a Petrobond 190 mesh. And every one of those darker orange pieces there are is the $22 a kilo def clay. This thing's taking a lot of sand. We just want the lumps broke up enough so that if you poke a sprue through it, that it don't knock a clump out and mess up your sand casting. It's better to have a big dome and too much than too little and then have to add more, because it leaves where you press on it real hard with your hand here, it'll leave like a layer, right? It'll peel off, it'll act weird. So None of this is going to waste. You just put it back in your thing. Alright. Big boy. Big chunky boy. I have to work on that. Let's see what we got here. Pretty good impression. Lots of talc. Now that would be interesting to see if there is a difference in the surface texture between those two sides. Alright, well let's get a sprue cut in here and we'll be right back at you. Well, that's as good as I can do it. Ain't got to be perfect. Doesn't have a single vent in it. We might want to do something about that real quick. Well, if it cooperate just at least a little bit. The divot. Whoa. Well, I didn't do nothing but make it worse. Never let good enough be the enemy of perfect, or whatever the hell that phrase is. Alright, we're going to stop before we mess it up anymore. Hopefully it's nothing the sander can't fix. Well, that's not got enough room for metal to go on through there, does it? Look at that. That's not going to work at all. Start this over. We'll be right back. Works, it works. It don't, it don't. Wouldn't be the first time this shit didn't work. Should be a gracious plenty, so we got a little mold here. We can do a skull for a change. Hail Mary, full of grace, help me win the stock car race. Hey, it's going in. It's a good sign. We'll just make a great big, we need some for the skull, don't we? There we go. Put the rest up there. Now the pot's empty. Good deal. All right, we'll let this cool off and come back and see what's inside of it. If I don't keep dropping it, it might look pretty good. If I keep dropping it, who knows where it'll end up. Well, it's got a little bit of sand stuck to it, looks like. Maybe just a touch. And the side with the powder, no sand. That side looks, I don't know. I should say it looks good, but it may be overstating the case. The vents worked though. Whoop. They filled up with metal, so they worked. Let me get this cleaned up, see what we got. Maybe tumble it. Put as much polish on this turd as I can get. We'll be back. That side looks pretty excellent. I mean, you can see the pore lines in it though. Let me get it cleaned up. I know I keep saying that. Well. First glance, it's like, oh, it's not too bad. Then you get closer to it. There's actually holes right there. You can see through it. That's never good. You're not supposed to be able to see through it. So that's not going to work. It's got a big line there. But this is just, like I said, just testing. So the next one, I think what I'm going to do is try to make it, when I press it on this side, I'll press it good and deep, and then I'll flip it over. You know, put this on that one, and then this one I'll press deep too. So it end up being extra thick. So when it compresses, it won't it won't be see-through. Anyway, that's a fail, but we learned something. We will see you next time.
Who let the cats out? Man, mountain link. Who let the cats out?
The one, the only, the man mountain link.